Morning peeps, good morning everyone. How's everyone doing? Hopefully you guys are all doing well. Don't forget, if you're new to the channel, like, share, subscribe. Guys, I need your help, please. I've set up a Facebook page called Ade Depot, which is a one-stop shop for everything I do. So all the long videos, the short ones, everything I do on Instagram, Twitter, everything will be on this Facebook page. We're also going to add a WhatsApp number to it as well, so you guys can talk to me directly, which is, I think, pretty cool. So the link to the Facebook page is in the description below. I would really appreciate it if you guys could follow that page. It really helps. All right, let's talk about what I did yesterday. In fact, this is a bit of a crazy story. Last night, I was supposed to do this crazy sauna session. This is a bit of a weird start to this story with Deontay Wilder, Dereck Chisora, and Lethal B. I was asked after the face-off to come and spend some time with them, which I did, which was very, very intense. Let's just say that. Wilder didn't go. I think Wilder was tired, and I think he's actually flown back to America. So it was me, Chisora, and Lethal B in the hottest sauna I've ever experienced. And I like to do the sauna now and again because I think it's really good for the body. So I was like, yeah, this is easy. It wasn't easy. So what I tried to do, remember this story about Tyson Fury and Vladimir Klitschko? I don't know if you guys remember it, where Tyson Fury said he was in a sauna with Vladimir Klitschko and he didn't want to leave that sauna until Vladimir Klitschko did. Like, he wanted to prove something. So I was looking over, Chisora was there. Lethal B had already left. So it was me and Chisora, and I was like, I'm not leaving this sauna until you do. Fuck that, I left. That guy, Jesus Christ, I'm telling you now, that sauna was, I don't know what the degrees was, but it was more than anything I've ever experienced. And I was just looking at Chisora thinking, you're not going to leave, are you? You're not going to leave. And he didn't. I think he was waiting for me to go. And yeah, I decided to go. But anyway, a bit of a random story. Let's talk about the face-off. Let's talk about the interviews. So obviously they're both here promoting the fight. I have done a separate video on Wilder versus Simon Jordan. Go and check that out. I do want to focus on the face-off and my interviews with both on this video. The interviews, the separate interviews. Wilder's been through a lot, you know. Wilder's been through a lot. It's not just the defeats in the ring. I think he can maybe accept those defeats because it ultimately comes with being a boxer. Not everyone's going to be an Andre Ward or Shakur Stevenson or Floyd Mayweather or Terence Crawford or Joe Calzaghe, right? Fighters that have never suffered defeats. I think most will. That's just how it is. So I think he's accepted the losses, apart from the ones to Tyson Fury. But I think he's almost given himself an inbuilt excuse because of what's been happening in his personal life, which I think he's been very honest and open about. And I do think we sometimes look at these fighters as robots. Like when they get in the ring, they shut everything off, or when they're in training camp, they shut everything off. I don't think that's the case, or it certainly isn't anyway with Deontay Wilder, because in that one-on-one interview, we speak about it. I just ask him, I say, how are you? And he kind of just goes. And I don't like just jump in. I just kind of let him speak. And I can see this is a man that's still going through a lot. He almost seems like he's someone that's trying to convince himself that he's now okay and everything's in the past and he's ready to continue being the bronze bomber. And look, that might be the case. We'll find out April 4th. But he still feels like he's carrying a lot. That said, he's normal, smiling self. He was warm in the interview, and Wilder's a great person to speak to. He almost reminds me of like an American preacher. Like when he gets on these long runs of what he wants to say, he just goes and goes and goes and goes, and some of it is really fascinating. Because again, he's very honest and open and tells you what he wants to tell you. Chisora, on the other hand, is just wild. Like Chisora's wild. Like you sit down with Chisora and you just don't know what's going to happen. We started the interview and it was crazy. I wish I could tell you guys, but they're gonna cut it out anyway. But the start of the interview was crazy. Let me just say, it wasn't my easiest interview. It wasn't at all. Which is why I probably tell you the sauna story, because the fact it wasn't my easiest interview, and then an hour later, he's saying, "Do you want to come to the sauna?" It's like, okay, this guy's crazy. But Chisora was on form as well. This is obviously his last fight, I think. I say that, and I pushed him on that as well. Like, is it really your last fight? Because If you win, I mean, you're number 1 or number 2 ranked in the IBF. So there's a good chance you get a world title fight. But he insists on this being his last fight. And it's funny how it's Wilder's 50th, Chisora's 50th. I mean, not many fighters get to that number. And these fighters are obviously there. And I like the fight as well. I've spoken about this in the past. I like the fight because this is both fighters at the end. Like the idea of Wilder versus Usyk scared me. The idea of Chisora versus Wardley scared me. This doesn't. Yes, it's going to be punishing. It's going to be carnage. But at least it's two guys that have deteriorated. I guess Wilder more than Chisora, but they're both towards the end and they know it, and I think they've accepted it. Chisora has anyway, Wilder maybe not as much. All right, let's talk about the face-off. Now, look, I'd love to tell you that chairs were thrown and tables were flipped. That didn't happen. And I don't mind that. There is a part of me that wants to see carnage like maybe was going to happen with AJ Dubois. And me growing up watching these face-offs, there's obviously been the Johnny Nelson ones, which will go down in history, right? I mean, the Chisora, Dillian White one, the Froch Groves one. Sometimes, though, it's just a conversation. Sometimes it's just a conversation. Before Johnny Nelson, Max Kellerman did them, and there was no one was getting up and trying to punch anyone. It was just a conversation. And that's what this was as well. This is two guys that have, I was going to say calmed down, but obviously we saw Wilder versus Simon Jordan. But, you know, these are two family men now. Wilder's got 7 kids. Chisora's got 3. These guys are both in their 40s. They're not what they used to be in terms of temper. I think they know how to control it and they know when to release it. And I think they're going to release it April 4th. But yeah, it was a conversation, people. It wasn't a back and forth. There was a moment when, right at the end, because I was trying to get something from them, because again, it was very nice. It was, you know, these guys have done like 5 fucking face-offs before they come to me. So I was like, they've probably been asked everything. And I'm not going to try with these two and try and, you know, he said this, he said that. This doesn't work with experienced pros. But what I did do at the end, which I think you guys are going to like, they both had sunglasses. And I was like, guys, do me a favor. Take your sunglasses off. Like, I want you guys to look eye to eye. Sunglasses is almost too easy. It's cheating. Take your sunglasses off and don't tell me, tell each other how you're going to win. And I think that's when you kind of get something, because that's when they kind of lock eyes. Because when you're in the conversation, they kind of look at you. The conversation goes through you. And I don't want it to go through me. Like, my best face-offs have been when I kind of just sat back like a Ben Eubank or Richards Boazzi, when I just sat back and had to do nothing. So I was like, okay, no, speak to each other. And when they kind of locked eyes, then you could see that these guys were ready to go at any time. Then you could almost see the fighter in them and not the friend or the friendship that they've created. So yeah, at stages, it did get a bit tense. At stages, you know, when they were both like, I'm going to knock you out. Like when someone says to you, I'm going to knock you out, or I'm going to retire you, that's quite threatening. Look, Wilder had a great line. I said to Chisora, I feel like I'm giving you guys too much gold, so this is the last bit I'm going to give you. But I said to Chisora, how do you win? And Chisora was like, you know what I do? I drown people. And Wilder was so quick, and he said, dude, I've deep sea dived before. And Chisora was like, oh shit, I might have to knock you out then. And I like the fact that they had that kind of back and forth. Wilder, again, very quick with it. So look, it's going to be a good face-off. If you like those type of face-offs, which I do. I did one with Benavidez Yard. It was very much like that. I did Leewood, Josh Warrington, the first fight, which was like that. The second one, they got a bit spicy with each other. I prefer a conversation. I don't mind when there is, I don't mind when there's all that excitement and sort of pumped up aggression when it's genuine. I don't like WWE stuff. Like if there's a beef and I happen to bring out the beef a bit more, fine. When there's not a beef, and then fighters pretend there is just to sell it, I'm like, we can kind of see you're selling it here, you know? So, yeah, I didn't mind it at all. And hopefully you guys will enjoy it. I'm sure you will. Look, both guys know this is the end. I do favor Chisora in this fight just because, again, I think he deteriorated less. Although, you look at who Wilder has fought in his last 2, or forget the Tyrell Hendon, forget that fight, but his last 2 big ones, Zhang and Parker. The outcome of those fights could happen to Chisora. Like, Chisora's beat good guys in Joe Joyce and Otto Volin. I mean, would Wilder have not have beaten them? So, do you know what I mean? So I can say, and I probably am saying, that Wilder's deteriorated more. But I think if you gave Chisora those opponents, there's a good chance Zhang could have knocked out Chisora. And we've seen the Parker Chisora thing play out as well. And that played out exactly how Wilder Chisora played out. Sorry, Wilder Parker played out. So, I don't know, man. I don't know. But yeah, I think it'll be out soon. When's the fight? April 4th. Probably won't be out soon. Probably be out in a month now, actually, now I've said that. But there you go. There's me giving you a few little bits of gold there, because yours truly hosted it. All right, guys, girls, peace and love.